that, we now ready to get to the next stage, is the Q&A process. So they're going to set up the chairs for us, get ready. So I'm going to invite Dr. Richard and all the interns also come to the stage. Could you please wait for them to set the chairs, and then you guys can sit. So only those who are in the audience can ask the question. So meaning those who are in the WJCT can ask the question. So once they set the chairs, they will get to sit. And I will be walking around with the mic. So if you have any questions, please raise your hand, and I will bring the mic to you. And please ask the question on the mic so that it is in the recording. So please be patient. So again, if you have questions, please raise the hands. Okay.
Great. So we can start. I mean, we had our community partners, our clients, people we work with for their projects, kind of talk about the impact. And I'd like to just kind of start the Q&A with our students about their kind of big takeaways, their big reveals about their own pathway through this data science and social good field. So I'll just open it up to you guys to start with that initial reflection.
Okay, so that was a good question. The question that Dr. Shard was saying about data science and social good. I think the thing that I learned the most was how real world this is. Like, all the data you're gonna get isn't gonna be super already there, ready for you. You need to do a lot of cleaning, a lot of preparing before you actually do the analysis or the visualizations and stuff like that. So I think that's a really big part of it, and that's one of the biggest things I learned.
I think one of the biggest things I learned is how many opportunities there are in the community for data science and data improvement. Sometimes you think, oh, it's only a large corporation that has millions of data points, but even the smallest organization, every organization has some sort of data that we can use to help improve their organization.
For me, the biggest takeaway was to solve the same problem, there are so many ways you could do it. There are so many ways you could go about it, but somewhere having a clear understanding of what would have the highest level of impact for your client from their perspective, and how we give more importance and emphasis to the particular solutions that can help them make decisions more clearly and more quickly. That was the biggest takeaway for me, and I really enjoyed working on this project.
I would say out of 12 weeks of internship, we spent 10 weeks in data cleaning, and analysis was done in 2 weeks only. So this is what I learned, that when we read about the analysis, you cannot feel it until you do it. So it was like I was living that moment, what I was reading before about the analysis.
For me, the biggest learning was dealing with a project which did not have any data at all in the start. So working as a data analyst there, we always had some form of data to analyze, but this was a good experience where we had to explore the options where we could get the data from and then do the analysis and the cleaning part. So yeah, it was a good experience.
Sarah, you can unmute and speak.
Hi. Yeah, so my previous experience with working with data has been just really zoomed out, basically trying to understand how the brain processes language. And I hope that that can maybe trickle down to help people learn how to teach reading better, things like that. But this project was just really, really special to me because I got to see kind of firsthand how data can make an impact, and basically how these analyses and skills that we have can be used to just do good in the community. And I think out of this, I would love to someday work for a nonprofit and do data science. This has been a really awesome opportunity.
Hey. Yep. Hey, I have a question. which is more of a technical, but it relates to the all the projects. So how much machine learning or AI did you guys use, like in percentage wise? Like, was it like 40-60 or 50-50, or how much?
I think I'll speak for the league project. Having access to what was done last year and a little bit of pointers actually helped us a lot. Although we did not use any existing ML models to leverage that for our own benefit. At least when you look at it from the perspective of coming up with those voter profile classifications, it was done manually, but at the end of the day, it is some form of ML architecture to be able to classify the voters into certain categories and then aggregate it so that we can view it at the dashboard level. So it is a major contributor for one of the three dashboards of probably 33%, and very helpful for the league as well, like Leah mentioned.
Yeah, for us in the Cathedral Arts project, we use latent class analysis, and I would consider that to be like a semi-supervised version of machine learning, in that we were able to control the different factors that were in the model, but we had no control of what the output was that came back from those models.
Yep, coming.
So as I mentioned in my comments, right, one of the things I feel passionate about is integration of disciplines and the interdisciplinary perspective. So I'm curious, I know you came from different disciplines. If you were from data science, what was something you learned from the social science side? You were a social scientist, what did you learn from the data science side? Just curious.
So I am from public health and epidemiology concentration. And data analysis, I think it is everywhere. It's in every field. And I get to learn how to analyze things when you have a lot of data, how to make sense out of it. I think now I know the basics, so I can figure out what does it mean.
I would say I'm a data science student, but I would say in my life I've been with I've been more interdisciplinary, whether it's volunteering or whether it's helping out others, as well as the honors college at UNF. That's a big one on interdisciplinary work. So I would say using that as well as this just reinforces the idea of like needing to do good when you can. Like if you have the opportunity, you need to seize it and be able to explore and help.
So prior to starting this internship, I had worked as an English teacher in Spain while my master's degree is in data science. So I have a data background, but I also felt that I had a unique opportunity, that I've had a boots on the ground experience of what it's like to work with children and see what it's like in the school system. I'm sure the Spanish school system is drastically different from my experience in Spain, but I know that I guess everywhere in the world, teachers are strapped for resources and they're trying to do the best that they can. And so I think that with these kind of data-formed decisions, we can make very direct impacts on schools.
Sarah, did you want to say something about that from the social science perspective?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in psychology, which I think many would consider social science, but I'm more in like the neuroscience area. So I think, I think the thing that I learned from this is just basically how much of an impact the data can make in either a positive way or a negative way, and that it doesn't exist in a vacuum, and that you have to kind of be conscious of the ways that you go about analyzing it, but also the ways that you go about presenting it to make sure that people who aren't data scientists understand the data and how it impacts the social problems.
Yeah, that was a good point. During the semester, or during the summer, we were talking to some of the mentors, and the interns said, how do you explain p-values, to a broad audience? And the advice was, you don't.
also ask questions. The community partners are sitting behind the chairs comfortably.
Other questions from our audience?
One of the fun things about doing analytics is finding surprising findings. And so besides the data cleaning element taking the vast majority of your time and that perhaps being a surprise, on the finding side, and this is for anybody on the stage, is there anything where you went, wait a minute, what? Because that's really where the fun starts.
I just haven't really had a chance to analyze the data yet. It's been a ton. But I am going to pivot to another thing that I just wanted to say. And that is with the dashboards, and I'm so happy to be able to get those. I mentioned that earlier. But when I worked with Mahmoud and Adi, I had to tell them, the people that I work with, my members, tend to be a little bit older, and they might not understand or like be able to embrace the technology that much. So as a client, I had to say, can you please make this as simple as possible? And I really felt that they listened to me and worked really hard to do that and kept it in mind. So I wanted to say thank you for that. And in an answer maybe to your question in the future, it will be easier for my members to like use the dashboards and then be able to find those aha places that we might not have known about in terms of voter turnout.
Would you like to go? Oh, sorry, okay. What I would say actually came from kind of the preparation part, whether it's looking at the census and you'd see total population values, you'd be like, there's like 10 people here. And then you go inside and you research and like, oh, there's military housing here, there's correctional facilities here and other things like that, where you really need to dive deeper. And, you know, after those, wow, like you see percentages in the thousands or something, you got to go back and check why exactly is that. So I think that was a big, big thing.
Yeah, so I think my aha moment, I guess, from looking through the data, with the latent class analysis, we were able to, see all the different factors that describe different art programs in Jacksonville. And we identified a few different clusters that had really robust art programs, yet they seem to report lower funding. And I find that interesting because, we always think, well, we just need more money. It's just more money. It's just more money. But people are still finding a way, and people are still being resourceful with what they have access to create a great art program.
I'll follow up on that. So I think one of the things with looking through the data, so initially we were including arts magnet programs in our analyses. And I think at first some of these kind of relationships between outcomes and the arts programs, we initially thought maybe were just kind of the result of these outliers, like pulling the relationships in that direction. But I was really excited to find that when we excluded the arts magnet programs that have like really robust arts programming from the analyses, those relationships held, and if anything, maybe were stronger. So I think that was a really cool moment for me to see that.
Yeah, I have a quick question. I heard on a couple occasions that the military bases were omitted. They're very much a fabric of this community. Was there a particular reason why they were omitted from the research?
I would say mostly it was military housing as well. It was just like these specific ones had like their population counts from the census weren't exactly like really accurate. Maybe they weren't counting the people. It was a different sense in how they were counting the specific people in the census and using that as well. And we just wanted it to be we just wanted not to include like sensitive information if these people wanted not to have their data out in the world.
Yeah, just to add to that, there is also a big public exemption angle to that. So at the zip code level, there is not a lot of census data which is available for those specific zip codes. So we couldn't really analyze any socioeconomic variables for those particular areas.
It's coming.
Hi, this is a question to the clients actually. So before this whole thing happened, right, UNF helped for the data analytics and all these projects. What kind of mechanism did you have for doing all these surveys and all those? Like, did you use any tools earlier, or now are you going to use these tools like dashboards and all those things? Were you having anything else that you guys were using earlier?
I guess I'll start. Like I said, being a part of this program has enabled our organization because we are a little newer to the game and we are emerging. So having this data has enabled us to, again, find a clear sense of direction. We are able to use this data on a day-to-day, month-to-month basis. And so that's particularly for our organization. This is given us the opportunity to really just dive deeper into the specific areas. And so this is going to be really important for us, if that makes sense. This is something that we will use for sure. Absolutely.
So for Cathedral Arts Project, we partner with the National Endowment of the Arts and the Kennedy Center. So this LEAD survey that you see has been in existence for over 3 years. So we do have a very robust group of community partners that come together to help us do our preliminary analysis. But with the support of Data Science for Social Good, it allowed us to do a very deep and thorough dive into looking at each small group. And we look forward to continuing this process as well.
I guess for us, the answer is pretty much no. So we're very happy to be a part of this program for 2 years. We do have access to things like the Voter Access Network, which is called VAN, but the personalization of this project was really impressive to me. So, I mean, I was treated like a client. So when we had our meetings, they asked me questions and they asked me what I wanted, and then they tried to provide it. So I do believe that this program is really special in that regard, and I appreciated that professionalism.
My question is for the interns. What would be your recommendation to UNF and others? What could we improve next year?
So I and Adi, we come from USF and we are from Tampa, and we got a chance to come here and work with everyone else for last few weeks. But as the COVID is ending, we would feel that if the internship program could not be remote, and we could, or it could be a combination of hybrid structure where interns come here, stay for a while, and then go home, work remotely. That would be a good opportunity, because I and Adityan enjoyed a lot while we stayed here and worked as well.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think at least if it would have been possible to come here for the first week or so, I think it would have helped us a lot more to bond really well with the interns, and I think it was a fantastic experience. Professors have been super helpful. We really have nothing to say. They've gone above and beyond and helped us, and also the clients and mentors have given us the right pointers when we needed it. So perhaps that's the only thing that we would have liked additionally.
I would just wish that there was more time. I really enjoyed the program, and if I could do another month of this, I definitely would do it for another month.
Yeah, I was going to say time and the not being able to, me and Audie became good friends during this, but like if we were in person and we were able to, communicate like that, would have been better. But, this program was amazing, as they've all said, the professors, especially the resources as well. Like these slide decks that you see were all provided to us, and we were all able to just use them to our best of abilities. So I'm really grateful for that.
So Meenakshi, do you have something to say? We'll hear from Sarah also.
Even though we were doing the internship online, I felt like we are all together at the same place at the same time, and because whatever the problems we had, it was solved instantly. We would just put our question in the Slack, and within 5 minutes we'll get the reply. It was like everybody is there every time. So, and professors were so helpful. Yep. Yes, we should clap for them actually.
Sarah, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I hate to be unhelpful in my answer to this question, but I think I echo everyone else by just saying that I really don't think that there's anything that could have been done better. And I really appreciate all of the work that Dan and Karthik and everyone else involved in this put into it to make it a really smooth, amazing learning experience for all of us.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think it's really, we've been hearing this theme, it takes a village, right? And yes, they said, oh yes, we're there, but we had mentors, we had faculty support, we had all of you, and the collaborative spirit, the cooperative spirit, that really helped out the program as well. So I just want to give yourselves like a really good, hearty thank you and applause for like sticking with this and working with this with us. So thank you. Yeah.